Well, hi there, folks. This is your host, AG Jester. Welcome back. Continuing our look at Fantasy Grounds here. If you watched the last episode, we talked about the way it incorporates story modes and how you can import your own adventures. So we were looking at last time at Dark Legacy of Evard, and as you remember, quite a bit of this information's already been in there. In fact, the only thing that I need left to do is starting up with Chapter 2 here. So I'm going to wait on that, and what I'm going to do here is finish up. We have basically a branching storyline, and we've got this Chapel of Peace that the players are going to run into. Fortunately for us, the branching storyline comes back together, and they basically are going to be doing the same encounter again here. And I'll show you what we can do about that here. So we look at our story. You can see we've got it all going on here, and we're just going to include a new one called Dark Legacy of Evard Part 4B, and this is the Chapel of something or other. Chapel of Peace. There we go. Chapel of Peace. Alright, so now we've got it started. You can see it's already put it in here alphabetically. So you want to make sure if you got them in a certain order, it's going to do it alphabetically. So a good way to do it is to have the title of the name and then separate it into different part numbers. And then if you got subsections, make it 2A, 2B, 2C, whatever, is a good way to keep things organized. So the basic flow of this adventure is starting at the top and going to Part 1, then to Part 2, and then once they go to Part 2, they're either going to choose 2A or 2B. Let's assume they choose Part 2B. Once they're finished with 2B, they're then going to go to 3B, and then on to 4B. If they choose 2A, they go to 3A, and then 4A. So easy to keep track of. And since the game does that really well, you should probably try to incorporate that. So, back to our PDF here, we're just going to take this. Looks like a little bit of introductory text. And then we've got something that we're going to share with the PCs. So, we're just going to Control-C that. Come back in here and Control-V that. So, Chapel of Peace, we will just highlight that. Right click, I should explain what I'm doing. Right click, and you're going to bring up this little radio menu. And then of course we're going to choose a paragraph type, and there's lots of different ones. And of course we're going to make that a heading. So that made it a header. And this is where I was talking about the character spacing. All I have to do is just come in here quickly, boom, boom, boom. Now I can start by reading, so we'll make that bold. And then we'll get rid of the paragraph spacing in here. There we go, and all we have to do is highlight that text, right click, we're going to make that a chat frame. Oh, what happened? Start again. There we go. Alright, always keep some leftover spaces so it's easy for you to click down here at the bottom, because you can get rid of these spaces afterwards. Let's go back to our text here and see what we got for the next page. Oh, it looks like some more talking and then some more information. We're actually going to take this daybreak and add it at the end of the encounter. So again, we're just copying and pasting. Come back up to the top here. Just going to take this and we're going to add that as a text bubble as well. Whoop. Get rid of it when I deleted that space. Okay, It's mostly Buster. Interrupting them with such remarks as ... Serves them right. Make that a chat bubble. Oops. with that file creature had it coming. We'll add that as a chat bubble as well. Boom, bloom. There we go. So he's got a couple different things he can say as the PCs are interacting and telling you as the DM what they've been seeing. He's got some own news of his own here, so we're gonna let's look at this. Okay, just wanted to make sure I wasn't. Make that a chat bubble there. Whoop. Oh, clicked on the wrong spot there. Alright, so basically at this point he's going to tell them, hey, whoa, that's not what I meant to do. Meant to do that. Alright. In session 12, I'm just going to underline that because it might be something. Alright, so you're going to continue with the Pillaged Tomb encounter. Fortunately for us, that is already built into, if you go back to our story here, 4A, the Pillaged Tomb. So basically the branching storyline comes back together. So what I'm going to do here is just simply take this text and highlight it. Hopefully all of it. If I can get all of it, that would be super cool. There we go. Keep going all the way down the bottom. There we go. And you can see our daybreak there. So I'm going to hit Control C to copy. Now I'm going to bring up our Chapel of Peace here. And I'm going to come down to the bottom here, and I'm going to Control V to paste it in. And you can see the formatting is better, although some of it has lost its luster, shall we say. So okay, you want to be like that? Sure. So there we are. We got a level 3 encounter. And we're going to make this a link. So all I have to do is right click and set up a link. And then we have our other link here, link. So we're looking for our Pillaged Tomb map. So we just click on our images, look for the Pillaged Tomb and drag that over. And then we're going to look for our encounter. So we go to NPCs, encounters, and there is the Pillaged Tomb. And you can see if I click on the link, it should pop up the map. Yes, it does. And if I click up the encounter, there are the monsters. Excellent. Otherwise, I would have to set all those up again. Here's what's in the encounter. Let's see, have them make a perception check. So I'm going to underline that. 21 or higher. Underline that. When the characters arrive, read. So we want to make this a text bubble. Tactics, we want to make that a header. We want to bold this. Alright, Leeching Shadows, we want to bold this one so we can, and of course, last but not least, we have, 3 different monsters here, the Ghoul Flesh Seekers, the Zombies, and the Leeching Shadows. So let's now make this a new header, Illumination. So the benches, we just need to make that bold. Looks like we lost our formatting when we brought this over. Bushes and hedges. But it would save us time copying and pasting and recreating everything from scratch. Bold that. Of course, we have to mausoleum. Now, will we lose it if we hit this? Yes. God damn it. Because it does paragraph formatting, it changes it so that it's all the same formatting. There we go. What do we have? We have an open grave here. I'm just right-clicking pawns, just making everything nice and easy. Statues. To see, do you see a successful athletics check? So we'll underline that. Tombstones. The trees. So you can see pretty quickly and easily how nice and neat and organized and awesome you can make this look. Underline. Conclusion. That is going to be a header text. 19 Arcana. We're going to make that a underline. Searching the tomb. Let's start a new paragraph there. Lost it there. Daybreak. Alright, so this is a header file there. Return to daybreak. Daybreak, a conclusion to Cesario, yada yada yada. Sleeping through and replenishing spent resources. Alright, let's see if there's any kind of rewards. Nope. Not for this individual part of it yet. And so that's pretty much. We'll get rid of a few of these spaces at the end. There we go. So it looks nice. You can see it's sliding up now. If I had to build this from scratch again, it would not be very hard at all. I'll just show you that really quickly. Let's say I need the map. So what I'm going to do is highlight the map and just save it. My desktop, name it whatever. I'm just going to call it XYZ right now because and you see there it is on my desktop, and you'll notice that if I bring it up, didn't mean to bring it up in Photoshop, but I guess that would have worked. Open with Paint Viewer. You notice that all the monsters are not on the map, like the PDF, because they're layered so that the monsters are on a different layer than the actual map. I've had some luck with most of the maps, but unfortunately some of the maps you'll copy and paste it and it will include these tokens on it, so you might have to find a different map that might work for you in that situation. Anyways, all we have to do is go to our images, and if it's not in there, all we have to do is click on our folder. It will pop up our folder. Let me do that again for you since it popped up on my other screen. There we go. And you can see all the different maps we have. And all I have to do is take this and drag it over and move it into there. Now you'll see when I go to images, there's our map, XYZ. It's already got a link. So if I needed to link the map to it, I would just take the link and drag it over there. I'm not going to obviously do that because it's going to break what's there. Encounter wise, if I needed to set up a new encounter, same thing. Just going to go to my NPCs, go to encounters. I can call it whatever I want, but in this case I'm going to create a new one. We'll call it XYZ. And then I'm just a matter of dragging tokens over to it and adjusting their value and then placing them on the map, which we will do here. So library, we're going to bring up our Dungeon Master's Guide, look for our monsters and sort them by name. And so let's see, what do we need here? We need, if we were doing this one from scratch, Leeching Shadows, Ghoul Flesh Seekers, and Grasping Zombies. All three of these I think I had to create. Or two of the three, maybe. Ghoul Flesh. Let's see what's Ghoul Flesh Seekers. There we go. Maybe these are already in there. There you go. And you can see I've already assigned a token to them. What was the other thing? We have Zombie something and others. Zombie... zombie... Grasping Zombies. Start again. Grasping Zombies, there we go. And you can see I've already assigned a token to them. If they didn't have a token, I'll show you what we can do about that here in a minute. And the last one was the Leeching Shadows, which are the ones that I created here last episode from scratch. So I could just simply drag these over, and you notice it's already got the icon assigned to it. For example, if we brought up one that didn't have a token assigned to it, say Grasping Zombies, in that case, what we wanted to do is click on the box, click on our tokens, and then just simply look for any token that might work. Here's a zombie with a club, a zombie warrior, a regular zombie, and I've got all kinds of them right now. Right now I've assigned them this one, the Grasping Zombies, since it fits the name and everything. So I had to create these from scratch, obviously. Again, if you watch some of my previous episodes, it's just a matter of going online and doing a search, finding an image and copying it and creating a token for it. If I wanted to switch icons, I could just simply just bring it over, and now the icons are different. But I'm not going to do that. Actually, you can see what the token looks like because I'll make it nice and big for you. That's what our Grasping Zombies look like, because basically these zombies are people that were helping the mage break into the tomb, and then the mage kills them, so they should have like clothes and hats and stuff on. So that's, I was like, oh, okay, that zombie doesn't look like a, you know, like a regular crawl on the ground zombie. This is more like a, oh, I just been killed zombie. Huh, that makes sense. Anywho, so that's how we assign tokens. Now all we have to do is assign those tokens to our map. We will bring up our images, look at XYZ, just click on it, and then it's just a matter of assigning these tokens. Oh, first things first, we want to right click, go to layers, and then set grid. So these maps have usually been pretty good for me. Let's see, 31. That looks not too bad, although I think it's a little big. Let's see if we can make it a little bit smaller here, and then we might have to adjust up and down, left and right, maybe up another one. There, that looks pretty good. And then it's a matter of going back to our figuring out how many there was of each. Let's say there was 2 of these. I closed the PDF again. Force of Habit, and 2 of these. Now I know there's 3 of these. I know where these guys go. The Grasping Zombies, I think there was 2 Gold Fleshers and 3 of these. Yeah, I think that's pretty close to what it was. And I know that that goes there, and that goes there, and that goes there. And actually, I think there was actually 4 of these, because I think each one of these was like hiding in the bush there. The ghouls were hiding behind the statues. And the Grasping Zombies, I think, were just like randomly out here when wandering around after being killed. So there they go, right? And so now, if I have to bring this map up, and add the PCs to the combat tracker. Let's just get rid of all the old ones here. Probably an easier way to do it that I know of, but doesn't take very long. So there's our PCs. They're coming in from over on this side here. So I would bring them down and have them okay. Go there then. If that's where you want to start, then you go there. So now all I have to do is once I'm ready, the PCs have arrived, they talked, and they're going to start adventuring forth. I can come into our encounters here, our XYZ encounter. Just drag that to the desktop, to the combat tracker. Automatically adds the creatures to the initiative track. And you can see that they're automatically muted out. And also, so the PCs can't see them. And so then I can say, okay, you know what? You guys can see the zombies, so I will make him and him and him available. And then the encounter can proceed. PCs can roll initiative, and then you get things going. Boom, boom, boom. See how quick and easy that was? Not too hard, not too bad. And then, of course, you're ready to go. There we go. Clear that out of the way. Once they complete the encounter, of course, I can then simply go back to our Chapel of Peace, and I can look at what their tactics are for the encounter, what the actual terrain, how it interacts with the characters in combat, and then, of course, after, depending on what the PCs do, and I have different options that might come into play there. I could just simply read through that. And as I mentioned way back in the very, very, very beginning, the best thing about, one of the really cool things about Fantasy Grounds is I can take all of this stuff that I don't need in my way and move it over to my second monitor, so I can have the important things right here. In fact, I would probably put my combat tracker over here, my story mode, my encounters. I would have my encounter sheet right here. I would have that on my other monitor, and so I could be monitoring and looking and reading at stuff as we're pointing out. Because all I really need is the map and the chat window where I need to be able to see them. So I could make this really big. I could zoom into different areas. You could zoom in really close. You can see these nice tokens I made. Aren't they awesome? There we go. Spin him around on his head. There we go. And zoom in, zoom out. Move around the map. So that's one of the really cool things about Fantasy Grounds, is that you can incorporate all these scenarios, encounters, mini campaigns, whatever, into the actual program. And then actually what I need to do is show you guys. Let's make this small again. Hopefully I haven't done this yet, but we're going to try it. Where actually, now that I've got all of my story entries, this is chapter 1 complete, and maybe I want to keep chapter 1 separate from chapter 2. I don't want to load too many files or whatever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to export this then. So I'm just going to come to the chat window and type in export. And hit enter. And it's going to bring up this little export module thing. So you're going to call, give it a name. We're going to call this Dark Legacy. What was the name of it? I'm so terrible with names, I forget things. Dark Evad. Put this on my other screen here. Dark Legacy of EVARD Chapter 1, maybe full, so I know that this is the full chapter 1 here. You could, of course, just save each one of these individually, each encounter separately if you wanted to. Thumbnail, you can add a thumbnail if you wanted. I'm not going to. So that's the file name. The name is going to be, I would say the same thing. Chapter 1, full. Category, 4th edition D and D. Other, Wizards of the Coast. Merge ID if I wanted to merge with others. Now I can choose to import the story, the images and the maps, the personalities, the encounters, the items, the parcels, tables. Sure, let's do it all. Now this is an important part, is you now to make sure you export the tokens that you added into for the creatures. So I'm going to have to come in and figure out exactly. So I know there was a grasping zombie was in there. And probably you wouldn't have all these extra miscellaneous ones in there. If I was smart, I would have changed it up. There's the shadow, leeching shadows, the shadow stalkers. We had some frogs in there. There's our 2 frogs. Put these in there. What else did we have? Let me look through the encounter really quickly and see what else I might have added in there. Shadow Stalkers. Oh yes, click back on here. The gargoyles. Yes, I think I used the gargoyle pick. Thank you. The Shadow Stalkers. What else did I have? Sorry, folks. The frogs. Oh, yes. We need the sprites. Here's our sprite swarm there. Oops. Sprite swarm. The 2 frogs. Oh, yes. So we have some spiders to deal with here. There's our Death Jump Spider. I think we already did the leeching shadows. Yes, we already did those. Spider swarms. Spider swarms, so I need to add that token. And normally, like I said, you wouldn't have all these extra ones if you just started a campaign from scratch. You wouldn't have all these extra ones. So you would just normally just grab all the icons that you have. Unfortunately, I've got all these extra icons in my folder right now, and what I should do is probably separate those extra icons out so it's easier for me to determine which ones are new. Oh, yes, our main antagonist here, our halfling rogue there. Oh yes, we have some goblins. Goblin sniper here, I don't think we used that one. Yes. Okay, good. Oh yes, some bandits. You can see we've got quite a bit going on here with this. Just chapter 1 here. Oh yes, our dust beasts that we created from scratch. Here they are. Leeching shadows we created from scratch. Our shadow bolters, which are here. Another icon that I created. Look at that. Ooh, pretty. Yeah. Alright. I think, let's check the last encounter here. Leeching shadows, ghoul flesh, grasping zombies. I can't remember if I added these or not. I think that's that token, yes. Ghoul Flesh Seekers. I don't think we have that one. Track that down there. Can't remember if I used Ghoul or not. I guess I could add that. It's not going to hurt anything to add an extra one in there. And that's it. that's all our icons there that I created for this. So you can see why it took me a little bit longer, because I was creating lots of little minis and tokens for all of the monsters. If you have tokens already, you wouldn't need to do that, but I wanted to make everything look all pretty and everything. And then of course I'm just going to hit export. Hopefully it works. Module exported successfully. Okay, that was pretty quick. So if I was to simply log out, and then I brought up Fantasy Grounds again, I can minimize that now. I could then load a campaign. Now, when they talk about load campaign, that is basically load, and campaign's a bad word. It should just say load what? What do you want to load? Load something, right? Campaign is just an organizational term that it uses for your campaigns and modules and everything. So if I load campaign, you will notice that I've actually have my campaigns, but I also have that module that I just exported, the Dark Legacy of Evard. There it is. And so I can choose whatever. Why does that not say Chapter 1? It should have said Chapter 1 on it. Did I... Let's see if that was... Let's make sure I did that right, just to make sure. It's the first time I've actually ever tried to export a module. So let's look at our story. Oh, there's all of our story parts. Just grab one of these random. Actually, we'll grab this one here. There we go. Need to make this bigger. There we go. Just check to make sure our map's there. There's our map. Let's look at our encounters. Our characters, interesting enough, are there. Weird. I didn't think they would include the characters, but you can see they're already checked. So if I was to actually, again, delete all of this stuff out of there, except for the PCs. Alright, and simply just drag our encounter over there. Bam! And there you go. Here's all of our monsters ready to go on our map. And of course I could just drag over the PCs here. And of course we could then begin. And this is an imported module that I used it. So pretty darn cool, the stuff that you can do. Unlike, say, Roll20, which is more of a generic program. Yes, generic has its advantages in that, you know, it's easy to incorporate things, easy to resize. It's web-based, just so everybody can attach really quickly and easily. Haven't actually showed you how to attach, but yeah, it has its advantages. It's not too graphic intense. You can resize things, you know, blah blah blah. But it's not well incorporated into whatever rule sets you're using, and there's not rules and functionality and rolling dice and everything like that. This program, Fantasy Grounds, is much more interactive with the rule set, the rules, the players, being able to roll dice on the extra monsters and add the effects and everything. They're very, very cool. Really, really enjoying this program a lot. So hopefully you guys are enjoying watching the videos on how to set it up, how to get things working. Of course, we're still learning things. I've only had this for about a week now, and you can see I've got quite a bit of stuff. I've already learned how to add monsters, and you know, there is a learning curve to this program, but if you're watching these videos, hopefully you'll get through that learning curve. But you can probably like me in that, you know, images. Okay, I don't understand. What am I supposed to do? Folder. Oh, it brings up a folder. I bet you if I put a map in that folder, then the map will show up here in the images. Oh yeah. So I mean, it's just very intuitive. It's even though there's a learning curve, it's you can figure things out by just clicking and messing around and just trying to figure things out. Makes it a little, makes everything that I've been able to figure out myself. There are some, commands over here. Here's your list of commands you can put in. So you can, whatever, different mood settings, I guess. I don't know. I haven't even looked at some of these. You can reload players. You can vote, whisper, import character. So export characters. Lots of really cool options. But, lots of different things you can do. So that's our look at Fantasy Grounds and how to finish up your story mode and export it into a actual chapter that you can load up again. So I could have 3, 4, 5 different campaigns going at the same time. In each campaign, I can just go ahead and load this Dark Legacy. I'm just wondering, if there was any other information about it. So here's how you would connect. You'd put in somebody's IP address over here. If you're connecting to somebody else out there, logging in as an alias, run a test to see if you connect. That's pretty much it. You can manage your characters. I'm just a little unsure of this. It should have said, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to try just to make sure that it actually, load campaign, Goblin Menace, start. There we go. I just want to make sure that it actually saved the campaign, because I should have named it something else. That's why I'm wondering. So we're just going to call it something totally different this time, just to see. Just to make sure we're doing it right, because I hate to show you guys and then not do it right, and then you won't do it right. So that doesn't help anyone, does it? Alright, so we are going to export, right? See, that's our file name, Dark Legacy of Evard, Chapter 1 full. The name is Dark Legacy of Evard, Chapter 1 full. We have to re-export all the tokens. Let's see if I hit A. No, I gotta manually click all these things. Drop links on this to add records individually. I'm not going to spend time adding the tokens. I just want to make sure that this gets... Alright, so this time we're going to call this, I don't know, we'll call this XYZ again and see what happens. And the name is actually going to be XYZ. 4th edition Dungeons & Dragons, yada yada yada, merge ID. We'll just assume I drag over my tokens there, but I'm not going to do that now. Export. Monzo exported successfully, so let's log out. Log back in. See, that's what I didn't think. It's not showing up as a exported module. No, I don't want that. I don't want to create a new one. I want to load the other one. Settings. No, I don't think there's anything in settings. Well, I could simply do something crazy, like, let's go into our Fantasy Grounds campaigns. Yeah, it doesn't show up there either. I wonder if this is a Steam issue. Steam maps. No, okay. I was wondering if maybe Steam was trying to save it in their own folder or something. In fact, they might be doing that. Well, I have to figure out about this, and then I'll let you know. But normally you can export your campaigns, and they will show up on the list here, and you'll be able to load them up. But I'll figure that out for next time, folks. So thanks so much for watching. We'll see you then.